I think we might make some good progress tonight, guys. Ended up in the hayfield today, so did not get nearly as much done as I wanted to on this project, but we're at a good point. Tonight we're gonna work on getting the final peg for the hinging mechanism. We're gonna do a little sanding, a little shaping on that part of it. I've got a piece of elm that we're going to cut the riser for the horse, or the riser for the shaving horse out. We're going to cut that. I'm going to make it like a 2x4, just about full dimension. It's going to lose a little bit by the time we get done sanding it, planing it, and all that good stuff. But should be a good evening, so keep watching. Alright guys, so, gosh, I hate this hat. Alright, we've got the riser drilled out, we've got the ramp drilled out, now we've got a, wherever the hell I put it, I've got a 3/4 inch octagon ash peg. I've got to trim this down so it fits easily into the hole. We want to be able to drive it out easy enough, so we're going to keep moving. Alright, let's see how good we are. It is windy out and I'm not mic'd up, but we're going to see if we can get this guy to fit the first time. See what happens. Oh, look at that. I do like it when that happens. Oh, sorry guys, jiggling the camera. There you go. Well, let's see. That part's all in. Lift it up. Yeah, we can lift it up. Let's see what we got. Let's see how this swing works out on it. Perfect. I have to figure something out for that, guys. Not quite, not quite the perfect swing, but I think we can make that work. I'll have to figure out what I want to use on this thing for a head. Swing's nice and easy though. I mean, nothing too bad there. So maybe have to do a little trimming on the base. We'll see what happens. Maybe a little bit on the base, and maybe chamfer those down a little bit, down this way, and then in on the other side. See what happens. Boy, we are gaining on her, guys. Okay, we've got the leg of the shaving horse, or the riser. I got to get the correct terminology down for this. Maybe a little less confusing. I left that with a little bit of slop on there. I did that on purpose. I want to be able to take this apart easily. Same thing with the peg that holds the ramp onto the base. That can be driven right out real easy. Now, all I have left to do really, I've got to make the treadle for it. I've got to get my legs on, set them where I want it to be. I've got to make the head of the shaving horse, and I'm going to do it out of elm. I'm going to make sure when I cut this out that my grains run that way, because I want to cut the mortise for that to slide over that riser. I want to cut the mortise with the grain, because you're going to be putting pressure on this. If I cut this across the grain and I go to push down on that, it might be fine the way this log is sawn. My grains run this way, it might be alright, but I'd rather not take a chance. So I'm just going to cut them so the grain is long way, and hopefully this piece is wide enough to get me what I want out of it. I need a piece like 9 3/4, and I don't really want the wane out of it, so I'll probably cut it out from somewhere back in here. Now what we're going to do when we cut this out, I'm going to cut this to the length I want it, and then we're going to cut it kind of just about down to a point, and we'll flatten the point out, so that way when we push that treadle, that comes down, and this piece is going to engage and lock whatever piece we're working on. Now obviously I can't come straight off of here with that piece, otherwise it wouldn't engage. So what I've got to do is I've got to cut it down at an angle and have it bite somewhere about in there. I think I may have made this a little too close to up here, but that's alright for what I'm doing. Making pegs, stuff like that, I'll be fine with that. And when I go to make bows and things like that. So that way I'll be able to move the draw knife any way I want to around it. But that's where we're at right now. I'm happy with it so far. Of course, the damn mosquitoes. Damn mosquitoes are everywhere tonight. We've had some wicked rain. Wicked rain this summer. Good old DEET. As much DEET as I can get on my body. Love DEET. I need the kind of shit they used in Nam. That was good stuff. Remember when I was a kid, you could still get that stuff at the surplus stores. Not anymore. Stuff was great, man. Put it on your skin and a friggin' tumor would just appear. It was awesome. Just awesome. So I'm not going to be, I'm running out of time tonight. I've got to get all my tools picked up tonight and put away, so that's going to take me a bit, but that's where we are. Actually, I can show you what we ended up doing. Show you what we ended up doing with the riser. So I didn't quite cut this mortise long enough over here. Up here and down below, I should have went a little bit longer. Rather than cut it longer, I figured I'd do some fancy bandsaw work, and I didn't take you into the shop for that because I don't want you guys to catch some kind of a disease from being in my shop, you know what I mean? Bad enough I gotta go in there. So remember I said I left this a little loose. Real easy for me just to pop it out, pull the pin, I can lift the whole piece out. So I've got to do quite a bit of sanding, but that's the riser for the shaving horse. Now we're going to get down here, and I'm going to cut a tenon on here, make it a long tenon, so I can drive wedges through it, and that's going to be for the treadle piece. We'll also make that out of elm. This whole riser piece with the head, the treadle, everything's going to be out of elm on this. So, like I said, a lot of sanding and cleaning up to do on that to make it look pretty, but I thought it came out alright for what it is. And just a shaving horse, right? So, pop it back in. Throw my peg in there. Just give it a little push. Also got to make some pegs. I got to figure out how I want to do that. I don't want to just wooden hinges, you know, they squeak. I don't want to just throw a block of wood under that. I'd like to, but damn, that's solid. I'll do a quick walk around of it. Get you guys a little bit closer up. Let's do some more Blair Witch Project camera work for you. Alright, so we're pretty well all roughed out on this. We've got some left to do. I was planning on having a lot more done this weekend, but ended up being in the hayfield today because it got nice. But hinges came out pretty nice. We'll trim that peg down a little bit, not terribly, more just so I don't get out of the light there. But I was happy with the way that came out. The peg has to get trimmed. We've got a lot of sanding to do, a lot of shaping on the base to do. But I wanted to have it done this weekend, but it just wasn't in the cards, I guess. Too much other stuff going on. That's the life of a farmer in the summer and a working man and whatever else. You never get it done. But anyhow, we're gaining quickly on her, guys. Show you a shot of what it looks like underneath. That's how she came out underneath. So anyhow, hope you guys enjoyed it. We're almost done with this project. We will be back to the barn pretty quickly, and we can keep going with it. So you guys have a good evening. I will catch you the next time.